seen this post before, definitely check it out because it gives you the breakdown of exactly what you need during your entire trip from A through Z and then back. Hello, 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 everyone. I am Adriana Smith, the founder of Travelpreneur.com, the digital platform empowering new travelers to see and do good in the world. I'm here with this video to give you the breakdown of my most popular post on Travelpreneur.com, the Black Woman's Guide to Solo Traveling. All right. Okay. So I wanted to use this video to give you some tidbits, some breakdowns, some insights into why exactly I created this guide, but also some resources that you need to make sure you use when you're selecting a country, when you're traveling, insurance, health insurance, visa requirements, etc. So I want to come in and share with you exactly to break down this guide and to give you some more insight into how to exactly use it. All right. So we're going to start with our pre-trip. All right. Our pre-trip is super, super important because that's when you choose where exactly in the world you're going, right? And I actually have a post that's coming out in a couple of weeks that lays out how to choose a country when you just want to go everywhere, right? Your bucket list is a long list of places you want to go, but we can't go everywhere. Knock on wood, one day we can teleport, but at this point we can't do that, right? So maybe 1, 2, 3 countries, depending how long you're going to be there, seems reasonable, and I will lay out exactly how to do that in a couple of weeks, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But in my guide here on Travelpreneur.com, we're going to look at how to pick a country, but not necessarily the steps, but more so lean on the expertise of different bloggers, different country-specific experts, solo travel experts in general, and how they've chosen destinations, how they go about where to travel in the world. And they have a lot of insight. So I would, again, lean on their expertise, lean on what they've done to kind of help you figure out where to go this year. And again, you can look on social media and be inspired by another blogger or influencers, travel to Mexico, to Spain or whatever, and that could be used as inspiration of where to go for the next couple of months or in the next year. But another factor that plays into your decision, obviously besides budget and your bucket list and goals, is do you need a visa, right? That's extra money that will come out of your pocket to pay for the visa. And I like to use this website called Travisa. Yes, Travisa is a streamlined process for you to know if you need a visa or you don't. And if you do need a visa, then they will lay out exactly what you need to do in order to process your visa, get it back on time, and have a great time on your trip. Travisa has a service that you can use to process your visa through them, okay? And it's not cheap. You know, visas aren't cheap. Some may be cheaper than others. However, it is something that you will have to come out of pocket for to pay. But I definitely would use Travisa. It's one of the simplest websites I've used for visa processing or visas, period. All right. So make sure to check out Travisa. I love that site. Bookmark it for future trips, especially right now if you're not traveling for the coronavirus. Secondly is once you figure out where you want to go, obviously you want to book your flight, right? The far in advance, depending if you're 3 months out or more, you can find some really good deals. My favorite flight search engine is Google Flights. I can simply type in Google, the nearest airport here, GSP to anywhere in the world, and it lays out exactly the flights, the cost, and during what time of the year and what day is best for me to fly out. And I love it because I can see in a month-to-month basis when are the cheaper times to fly out and how I can get some really, really great deals. But the other two options that I love is Skyscanner and Momondo, because again, you can lay out when exactly is a cheaper time to fly out to a particular destination, and they're just simpler to use compared to others on this list. However, you may have like one over the other, but check these out to see which one you like and subscribe to them, sign up for them. And what I love about Google Flights, the last thing I would say is that, let's say you're monitoring the prices, maybe it's a little higher than you expected or want to pay for, you can simply click a button and they will send you constant reminders of the how, if the rates go up, if the flights go down, you'll be able to kind of monitor the prices over a period of time. All right. And then once you buy your flights, you want to stay protected no matter where you are in the world. You will want to buy some travel insurance. In my early days, travel insurance didn't matter to me. I was healthy. I knew I was going to be healthy everywhere else and returning back. But nowadays, especially with the coronavirus happening, having some different sicknesses and illnesses are, everywhere, including home. I want to make sure I'm covered, be protected wherever I go. And so I listed these travel insurance companies for kind of best practices, but also for you to research and see what coverage is better for you. All right. Also, accommodations. And so I have a disclaimer. I primarily use Airbnbs where I go, especially personally. If I'm traveling personally, I use Airbnbs because they're cheaper. I get my own space. I don't have to worry about running into someone in the lobby of the hotel or whatever. I just have my own space going in and out when I want to, and I have to check in at the desk or whatever. So I like the flexibility of the Airbnbs. However, I do have listed in that blog post, I listed a post I've written, how to survive your first Airbnb stay or your Airbnb stay period. Because after several experiences with Airbnbs, I had to let people know, like, here's how to stay protected. And I know Airbnb has gotten better over the years, but if you've not seen Airbnb nightmares, then check out my post, check out the series so you can stay better protected if you decide to use Airbnbs. But when I'm traveling business, I use hotels. I mean, obviously my work is paying for it. So I look for places that are unique, nice to stay in, centralized locations. Also, it's easy to walk to and from places, especially if I'm going for a conference. Having to take a taxi or Uber or Lyft, sometimes it's just not, reasonable. It's not just really convenient for me. So I like to stay near the action so I can come and go within a matter of minutes. So again, here are some other options if you want to stay in a hostel. If you're down for couch surfing, I'm not, but you may be more adventurous. Here are links that you can use to find lodging for yourself wherever you are. So also, if you're a solo traveler, you want to use these particular websites to find more specific spaces for solo travelers, especially as a Black woman. You want to go to spaces that are accepting of Blackness, Black people, right? And so you want to use these different resources, and I'll name some other resources specifically for Black travelers around the world. All right. If you are friendly, if you're outgoing, if you want to meet people, then you might want to go to different restaurants. You may want to reserve space at a restaurant so that they have a table for you, especially when you're traveling elsewhere outside of the U.S. Sometimes solo traveling or solo travelers could be frowned upon, and it also may feel a bit awkward. So you may want to reserve just a table for you. So when you walk into a restaurant, you won't be sitting on, walking around like looking for space. And then, again, you will have that space specifically for you because you reserved it in advance. All right. So again, pre-trip is pack your bags. Packing is, for some people, harder than others. Yeah, I find unpacking the hardest of it all, but we're not going to get to that today. But what I want to show you is kind of checklists in case you don't know where to pack, or if you're a last minute packer, at least you have a list of things that you can check off very quickly to see if you have everything. You don't want to show up to the airport and not have underwear, or show up to your destination and not have a towel or any bottom, so meaning pants, skirt, shorts, or whatever. Like you're missing half of your wardrobe. You don't have any toothpaste or whatever, because sometimes it may be harder to find things depending on what time you actually arrive. So be mindful of what you pack, how you pack, and what time you pack. Don't be rushing to the airport and having packed hours before you're supposed to fly off. That would stress me out, and hopefully you're not like that. But if you are, these checklists are super, super, super important. Now we're ready for on the trip, okay? So one of the first things that I was super nervous about when I first started traveling was security. Going through security through the airport, how to actually navigate it. And now that I've gotten accustomed to it, some of the issues I have with security is mainly my hair. Because whenever I pass through the detector, I always have to get pat down. Like my hair has to get pat down, like I'm carrying drugs or smuggling whatever in my hair. And I know it can happen. However, it's so uncomfortable. And so one of the things I would say to you as a Black woman is to ask the agent to change their gloves. You don't know where their gloves have been, whose hair it's been in, or person who, where their hands have been on the person. You just want to make sure that their hands are clean, those gloves are clean before they touch you. So just politely ask if they can change their gloves, and they should have no problem with it. If they do, then I will bring that up to their supervisor, because again, that comes down to hygiene. And right now we're talking about hygiene with the coronavirus. Security here in my blog is in addition to what I just talked about with the TSA and navigating the airport. Security in terms of safety. If you're going to a country, you're going out at night, if something feels off, trust your instincts, and get to the nearest location where there's multiple people, a group of people, so you can find the safe way back to your hotel or Airbnb, or to find a local authority to help you. Something I like to do when I'm abroad, and obviously I will be on my P's and Q's when it comes to my security and my safety. That would be letting someone know back home where I am at all times, right? There are apps for that, and I will do a product review sometime soon about a particular product I've used that where my mother back home will know where I am at all times. Like if there's an issue, it will alert her that something is happening, right? And so you want to have those devices, those apps, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're safe, that people know where you are at all times. Maybe not at all times, that may be a bit extreme for you. So do what you need to do to stay safe in country, all right? So these again are apps that you can use so people know where you are at every point of your stay in country, as well as if you decide to use Uber, Lyft, or any other ride sharing service. And Uber is not really that great at it, and this is my personal experience and my personal opinion, is to, in addition to using their app to check in and share your location, I would take a photo of the driver's license once you match it to what's in your app and send it to a friend or your family. Make sure that you're aware if the child safety lock is on. I'm making sure that you know exactly where this person is going, because they know the city, you don't. And to make sure that you're checking in on the app in the Google Map or the GPS to ensure that they're actually going where you want them to go. And there are different ways to make sure to be safe at all times. It's too much to list right now, but please be safe wherever you go. Okay. And, with that, when you make new friends in country, just be super, super cognizant that not everyone is planning to be your friend, right? And that may come off as pessimistic, but I'm also a realist, and I'm also from a city of millions of people, and that's where crime is every single day. So I say this so that you are, not only are you open to meeting new friends, but you're also cautious about meeting new friends. So if you want to meet up in places that have been verified, that have history of being okay, then use websites like Meetup. Use Airbnb experiences, so that again, like, you're using reputable companies to meet new friends, and that you're not just meeting anybody off the street, because you don't know what their purpose is, you don't know what motives they have, and you want to stay protected wherever you are. So meeting new friends is cool, but at the same time, protect yourself. That goes back to the security portion of the blog post. But you may meet new friends before you even travel to a destination. And so some of the places that you can look for friends, especially as a Black woman, is No Madness Travel Tribe. You will have to fill out an application and have at least one passport stamp before getting accepted to the Facebook group. But again, if you've already traveled or have some sort of experience, then it should be no problem. There's also Black Travel Movement, Up in the Air Life, Girls Love Travel, Girls versus Globe. There's so many different travel groups on Facebook. You can pick and choose which one you like. I like more Facebook groups that are more of my identity. So as a Black woman, as a Black person, and as a woman, and I tend to lean towards those particular groups because I can get something out of it. So find what niche or what place you want to be, and use that as a resource to meet new people for whatever trips you have across the world. So again, going back to meeting new friends, being social, especially if you're an extrovert. If you're an introvert, then some of this stuff may not even resonate with you because you already have a plan in action and you want to stay to yourself. So maybe booking a tour may not be your thing, but what I found is that free tours by foot, I can be as introverted as I want to and still have a great time on that tour. I've taken a tour by free tours by foot a number of times in Philadelphia, in London, almost in New Orleans, and almost in Charleston. However, I can speak to two experiences I've had, and in the one in London, I went on 2 different tours, and I loved it because you really get a glimpse of the city from an expert, from a local, not necessarily from someone who's trying to get paid. Like, this person really wants you to know their city, and so you can pay them or not. I would suggest paying them for the work and the knowledge that they've shared, and you can pay what you want, like $5, $6, whatever the currency is, but you're basically giving them what you think is worth the tour. You can pay them $50, $100, $200. It's still left up to you how much you pay for that tour. And then you have Viator, where you can find, again, different experiences for your trips, for your destination. So if you're more into outdoors activities, then use it to find some outdoor activities that you can pay for, and then you have that extra security of someone who's an expert and local in the country, and then a company who runs the program. Again, having that extra security while you plan to meet new people, and then again, see the space, see the city for what it is. Now, documenting your travel experiences, and this is a personal choice. I like to take photos because I like to come home and share it with my mom and my family. I also like to take videos, and it's because I also blog. So for me to document my experience, it'll be more using my phones to document that experience, and also to take some notes so I can remember as I'm writing the blog post for you. But that can mean something different. Maybe you don't document it with anything. Maybe you document it with your memory and you share it with your friends and your family when you get back home. Or that could be writing a post. That could be taking your ticket, your different pamphlets and brochures, and putting it in a book as a scrapbook and sharing it with your family or with your little ones in the future. However you decide to document your travel experience, that's your personal experience. But I just listed here on the blog post some digital ways to do so without having to carry a book or scissors or glue or whatever with you to do so. All right. And something that I am super, super, super passionate about is using your travels to do good. So even if you haven't traveled overseas, you're just traveling domestically, there's still a way to give back. There's still a way to make sure that however you're traveling, you're doing good. And doing good can mean something different. It can mean just volunteering. It can also mean making sure that your travel is sustainable. It can also mean just investing in the local community by buying and spending there versus like the big companies who are profiting off of the local people. It can mean something different. And so I've listed different ways that you can give back while you're traveling. So Giving Way is a group, an organization I've worked with the last couple of years, and they have a number of organizations across the world, as a number of missions that they work with in order for people like us, for people like you, to make a difference wherever you are. You don't even have to travel to the destination. You can actually be home if you have skills as a graphic designer, if you have skills in social media and grant writing, you can do that from your home. If you want to benefit, organizations and countries in Uganda, in Kenya, in Europe, in Spain, or wherever, you can do that while you could travel, and you can also do that while at home. So I listed again some more resources and ways that you can easily give back just by simply either staying home, by walking, by just sharing it out to your friends and family. There's all ways you can give back and do good while you're traveling. And so that is overall kind of the gist of this guide. But if you're still skeptical of traveling solo, let's say that you're just like not convinced that you can go solo because what are you going to do? Who's going to take your photos? Then I've listed on the blog post at the end some fabulous people who have done it and done it many, many times, that you can follow their journey and how they've grown over the last several years, maybe even over a decade of solo traveling, so that you can feel comfortable making that choice and making that decision to do so for yourself, because not everybody's going to go with you. While you're waiting around for everyone to hop on board for that cruise to the Bahamas, hop on a trip to Paris for $500, sometimes it may not happen, but you don't want to waste time and waste your life by waiting on others. Sometimes you just have to do it alone. And these people that I've listed at the end of the blog post are fabulous, and you should learn from them. Savor the moment, because you can do it. Okay, you can do it. And the following people, the following groups, following organizations will spark a fire in you to want to see more, do more by yourself. All right. So that's the end of this video. I'll be sure to add more resources as we move along this year. If you have any questions, drop them in my comments and I'll be sure to answer. Take care.